Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mezze Project YouTube channel. I'm Alex, and today we're going to be making a pretty cool meze. This meze comes from, I want to say, the southeastern region of Turkey, but actually it's a meze that's really popular all over the Middle East. They usually call it sarımsaklı köfte here in Turkey. Which means a meatball with garlic. But be careful here because it's actually a vegetarian dish. It's sort of a dumpling that's going to have a tomato-based garlicky sauce. But people also call this fellah köftesi, and it has many different names. It's known by something else in many different regions. So it's the kind of dish that people are fighting over. You know, it's sort of like Turkish coffee or Greek coffee. In the end, it's the same sort of thing, but then you go to one region and they say, oh no, that dish is called this. You go over here and they say, no, it's called this. So there's a bit of a fight over who actually owns the dish. But today it's a dish that we're gonna own right here in this kitchen. Quick shout out to my friend Brendan Freely. He was the one who gave me the tip. He said, you gotta try sarımsaklı köfte if you're gonna do a meze. So I think it's one of his favorite mezes. Let's just see if I can do it justice today. So, to get started, we're going to have to boil a bit of water, about a cup of water. Not boil, just get some warm water ready, because with our bulgur, cracked wheat, it's sort of fine. This is called a köfte bulgur. It's sort of a refined bulgur. We want 2 cups of this. When we start with this, we're going to first just put a bit of hot water in here. This. And stir that up. All right, there we go. Kind of looks like brown sugar. And stir that up a bit. And then ideally, we want to have this sit for about 10 minutes. So we would cover this, set this aside, and sit for about 10 minutes. So after we've done that, we're going to add to our bulgur semolina. And it's going to be 2 to 1. So we're going to have 2 cups of bulgur and 1 cup of semolina that we're going to add into the mix. Like I always do, I sort of go by feel, but you really want 2 cups to 1 cup as we mix up these two. It's kind of fun. It's like baking a cake. You know? There we go. You know, you can use a spoon, you get your hands in there eventually. You know, it's a nice, affordable meze that's something that, you know, is vegetarian, obviously. It's something that a lot of people are going to enjoy, if you like garlic, of course, because there's a lot of garlic in the sauce, and that's the key element, the ingredient to the dish. Now, at some point, you're probably going to want something a little bigger, wider, like this, plate like this. You can spread this out because we want to eventually get our hands into this, right? So, show you. So just kneading this stuff here, right? And it's a pleasant experience. It's fun to do. Don't be shy. Now, there are a lot of different details here. Some people will say egg. Some people will say no egg. But what I'm going to do today is put an egg in here after I get this kneaded, nicely kneaded. You know, it takes some time. You want to spend about 5-10 minutes just working this through. Once again, you make a mess. That's not a problem. Don't worry about it. Okay, yep, we want to just knead that nicely. We're going to add to this, once we get it worked through, you know, because we want to get these 2 ingredients mixed together nicely before we transfer this back into the bowl. That was kind of an odd step I made there, but okay. Crack an egg. There we go. Voila. Mix that in. Again, you can use a spoon or use your fingers, no worries. Oh, it'll take some time, you know. Don't give it some time. Don't feel the need to rush through this. Good 5-10 minutes of mixing. Spin it around. Get your arm into it. A little workout on the way. Now we're going to use the pepper paste for our sauce, but we also could use a little bit of this at this stage too. So I would say a teaspoon of that and maybe a teaspoon or 2 of our tomato paste. That's looking more like it. Now right now what I have is something that's pretty moist as it is, you know? So no more water is needed, but as you move forward during this process, feel free to just chuck a little more water in there because it might be too dry. You'll get this far and say, oh my God, this is not working out. Don't worry, you know, because you can always add a little more water, a little more of these ingredients, your cracked wheat, your bulgur, or semolina. All right? Stir that up. Oh. Key spices, pinch or 2 of cumin. All right, that's going to give us a very distinctive taste, obviously. Hot pepper flakes, can't say no. Throw that in there too. And a touch salt, pinch or 2 of salt. Little black pepper would be fine as well. And keep on stirring, keep on working, keep on trucking. Just move through. At one point, you want to get your fingers in there. You just want to start to feel it, start to work with it, feel connected, feel like you're owning it. You're just, right in there. Right? So what I have here, I think, something that's far too wet. So what am I going to do? Probably a touch more semolina. Won't hurt. Yeah, I need more bulgur. Olmadı. Biraz daha kessek mi? Devam edelim oradan ama. Alrighty-o, here we go. All right, this is finally coming along now. I've been really working this with my hands, all my strength, putting everything I've got into it. All right, and eventually you're gonna get, you know, something like that. Great consistency. It's gonna look pretty much like a meatball, all right? So what do we need to do next? We need a plate like this. Perfect. I'm gonna get some water ready, boil. I'm gonna set that there, get that boiling, and then we're gonna set to work on making our beautiful little meatballs. Well, I shouldn't say meatballs, these are veggie balls, right? Make a little ball like that, and then just an indent in the middle here. That's the shape we're looking for. We want the consistency, nice tight consistency, so that when we boil them, we're going to boil these guys for, say, 5 or 10 minutes before we drench them in this glorious sauce. It's going to be a tomato sauce, rich in garlic. Just want to spend the time now working through our balls, you know, and it's pretty fun to do. This is, I would like to say, the meditative moment in meze making. All right? This is when you can finally just slow down and say, God, I got the main stuff done. I'm just kind of like relax a little bit, chill out, take them ball by ball, one step at a time. Mine are rough, you know, I'm not really, again, I'm not a meze master, right? People who've done this for years and years, countless times over and over again, they know how to make something like this, and like within like a squeeze or two, they've got the perfect ball. But I'm not gonna worry about that so much. I'm just gonna try to keep calm, carry on with my sarım saklı köfte, right? Felah köftesi, they call it. I don't know why. Not sure what the word means in Arabic, felah, but that's another name for this. It's got many names. We're just gonna move on like this for a while. I have to get my water boiling, so maybe break and have a lighter. I'm going to step out of roll. All right, we got our water here at a raging, roiling boil. That's what we want. Fokur fokur. Nice boil here. Means I can get my dumplings, my sarım saklı köfte, well, to be sarım saklı, to be adorned with garlic sauce, into the pot. There we go. Just pop them right in there. They'll be fine in time. Well, there we go. So, while we have those boiling, we're going to move on to the sauce, right? Okay, so I've got the water boiling. They've been in there for a good 5-10 minutes almost now. Let's have a look. Looking good, looking fine. Give them a minute more. Got my second batch ready here. It's a great dish, really. It's filling. It's actually more than a meze, it's a meal. But it's lovely to serve as a small little meze alongside other mezes. Perfect complement to raka, beer, soda, wine. Let me, got a nice plate here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take these out. It's my first batch. Just line them up here nicely. They look pretty good. You know, they're not really that beautiful in terms of shape. I think I made something that looks a bit more like a chicken nugget, to be honest. Yeah, have a look at that. The masters would probably frown upon my work here today, but you know, these will do. It's not so much how they're looking, it's about how they're tasting, right? So, there we go. So with that done, what I need to do is move on to the second stage, and that's going to be making the sauce. It's going to be a tomato-based sauce with loads and loads of garlic, right? Sarım saklı köfte, it's let's say a dumpling with a tomatoey garlic sauce. So let's move right on to that. We're going to have to start with, as I've been saying again and again, garlic, right? So 3 or 4 cloves probably will do the job. Mash them up first. Let's break them out of their casings. Squeeze these guys out, all right? Okay. So the key here is loads and loads of garlic, right? 3, 4, 5, 6 cloves you might want to throw in. And want to be sure that you finely dice your garlic. You could also crush your garlic too. I think that would be just more or less the same. I'm not really sure what the difference is. But right now I'm just going to make do with a real fine, clean dice down of our garlic. Whew, okay. We're going to move on to the sauce now, right? So what we're going to do first is fire up our stovetop with the lighter that I don't have, but that's okay. Anyone got a lighter? Ooh, okay, so we've chopped up our garlic. Now all we need to do is attack the tomatoes. So we're going to use 3 or 4 nice, fresh, juicy tomatoes that we want to dice up for our sauce. I think so. Any tomato will do. You can use a cherry tomato. Might add a little bit more flavor. Preferably a nice summer tomato. It's the season for something like this. But anything will do. In the end, this is just going to boil down to a nice, rich, garlicky tomato sauce. Okay, so 3 or 4 of those. I have the stove going. Gonna put a little olive oil in there at the base. Looks like the sauce is done. It's cooked down nicely. We're ready for the crowning moment. What to do is just bathe this beautiful meze in this lovely sauce. There we go. Okay everyone, we finished our meze for today. Sarımsaklı köfte, or a vegetarian dumpling we could say in English, with a garlicky tomato sauce. It's also called the felah köfte. It's an interesting other name for the dish. Felah means, as far as I know, a farmer. So we could probably call this something like a poor man's köfte or a poor man's meatball. It's an affordable dish. You really get the feeling of having a meaty texture with a dish like this. Cheap, easy to make, tasty, and filling. So I would say give it a go. The perfect complement for the meze table, along with other mezes. Goes great with raka, beer, or your drink of choice. Okay guys, so thanks for joining us at the Mezze Project YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.